Hi guys, my name's Hannah Martin and I'm here to introduce my strategy packet. My first strategy is a rhyme to remember, and this is used to help students remember new information at a quicker pace, and it helps them remember this information for a longer period of time. Rhymes and songs, they usually help students remember like key terms, names, or dates. It helps give examples of real life objects or experiences that they can relate to. And then it also expands student imagination, which is always a good thing. The description of the strategy, it's usually a rhyme, song, or poem that relates to the subject matter that you're teaching, and it makes mastery of content that much easier to accomplish. Students with learning disabilities often have problems memorizing things in the first place, so using mnemonics really helps students with learning disabilities as well as those in your general education classroom. Um, Procedures. You want to introduce the subject first that you're teaching, teach the rhyme or song, and then make sure the students understand, know, and can recite the rhyme or song on their own before moving on to the more complex part of the lesson. Materials. It'll vary depending on the subject matter. You might want to have concrete objects or visuals to go with your rhyme, song, or poem because that's always really helpful. When to use. You can use this with any lesson, any subject, and it's appropriate for all grades. So in my example of 3D shapes, I'm doing the names and using visuals also. Let's see here. We want to teach this song before you would move on to learning the attributes of the 3D shapes. And what I'm going to do is I have a YouTube video to show you via YouTube video. His name is Mr. Smith, and he's got his own website called teachertipster.com. He posts YouTube videos all the time with really cool things teachers can use in their own classroom. Let me get this video going for y'all. And here you go. What's your clue? I like the soccer ball that you kick with your shoe. And we all swing our foot and kick with the soccer ball. And the sphere looks like a soccer ball. Next. You know what the shape is? Rhymes with cylinder. It's a cylinder. Cylinder, cylinder. What's your clue? I look like a can of chicken noodle soup. Looks like a can. Next up is a cone. Cone, cone. What's your clue? Don't let the ice cream drip on you. And while we're saying it, remember somebody got making an ice cream cone, and then it drips on my shirt. And the kids all 137 times a day. Because then I also say, well, it makes a great party hat. Oh! Okay, on to cube. Cube, cube. What's your clue? I look like the ice you drop in your Mountain Dew. So, like an ice cube. Next up, pyramid. It goes like this. Pyramid, pyramid. What's your clue? I look like the house the Egyptians walked through. Last of all, I like using a tissue box for this one because it goes with the rhyme. Rectangular prism goes like this. Rectangular prism. What's your clue? I like the box of tissues when you say, So there was Mr. Smith. Let me shut this down. Again, that's from teachertipster.com, and you can also find that video on YouTube, and I will post a link with that in the strategy packet. Let's see. My next strategy is a note-taking strategy. This helps students with mild learning disabilities as well as your general education students. It just helps them take effective notes during lecture or in anything for that matter. In inclusive classes, teachers have noticed that students that either don't take notes, have peers or someone else take notes for them, or special education teachers often have to come in and assist the students to take effective notes. Notes, they help summarize lecture. They can study them for later use. And it's also used for active engagement in the lecture. and causes for clarification. When students are focused to engage in a lecture, they get more out of it. And again, it encourages clarification on confusing parts of the lesson that they may not understand. And they may not otherwise ask a question if they didn't have to paraphrase or take notes or just obviously be active in the lecture because maybe they wouldn't catch it. Description. I have two methods that we can use. One is the guided note-taking and the other is a strategic note-taking method. The guided note-taking is more of a framework. It's just kind of gives them a main idea and then allows them to elaborate in detail in their own words. The strategic note-taking is more of a fill-in-the-blank model. And I will have those to show you. Here's the guided note-taking. Again, it's more of a framework. Like you see here, this one's on frogs and toads. This one right here has similarities and differences and allows the students to list them on their own. This one here has differences between frogs and toads, and this has survival strategies of water loss. So again, it just has main ideas the students learn to listen for, and then has them gives them room to take notes on their own. The strategic note-taking form again is the fill in the blank. So here it has what's today's topic? Name 3 main topics of the day. Summarize this. Name that. Summarize that. Summarize that. So again, it's just a fill in the blank. Procedures. So first you want to obviously just pick which method you want to use. Some students may require the guided, others may require the strategic. And then you want to distribute the handouts, one per student, and explain the purpose of taking notes. Explain to them that it's for their use, for their benefit, and not for the teacher's benefit. And let's see. There's no right or wrong answer on taking notes except for maybe the fill in the blank. And just let students know, again, it's for their benefit. It's to help them learn. Materials for this strategy. Obviously, it's just the handouts for both of those. And you can use this when students are having difficulty keeping students engaged or involved in the lecture or a class period, or when students have difficulty following you in the lecture. And it really works well with hyper students who always have to be doing something. It keeps them engaged and on task. And it also helps with those students who have trouble comprehending verbal information. It's appropriate for all students and I feel should be introduced as soon as possible whenever you as a teacher find it appropriate, because I know that younger grades, they can't write quickly. So, but again, introducing them as soon as possible, so maybe 3rd or 4th grade, because when I got into high school, I know I was never taught how to take effective notes, so when I entered college, it became a big problem for me. My third strategy is cooperative learning, and this is more for peer teaching or tutoring and developing social skills. And it acts as active participation in class. It allows for kid talk, which is peer tutoring, because sometimes teachers, they have they have trouble getting through to some students. And they will have a student that has accomplished the material. So they know what they had to do in order to achieve that level of mastery. So maybe they can help explain to that student who's not necessarily getting it, and they can explain it in a different way that you didn't think of or you didn't know how, or use words, simpler words that you didn't use. Description of the strategy. You want to assign students into groups, and when I say assign, you, the teacher, pick who is with who. Like, for example, you might want to pair some of the academically stronger students with those that are academically weaker, and that way that peer tutoring can take place. The materials you need, it'll vary depending on what subject you're teaching, what objective you're trying to accomplish, and things like that. So for my example, my materials I'll need is basically classroom setup, have the class, maybe you want to have the desk already paired up. That's just going to help you time-wise. And like for my example, I just want to have a rubric that I'm going to use. Let's see here. Procedures. You want to announce student expectations. So maybe the day before you're going to do this activity, just say, hey guys, tomorrow we're going to try to work in groups. This is how I want you to behave. This is what we're going to try to accomplish, and I'm going to grade you on this. And then when you're doing the activity, you want to enforce those same rules throughout. When to use. You can use this again with any subject, any grade, any lesson, but it's really made for those objectives that are complex or require a lot of practice. Let's see here. Here's my rubric. I downloaded it off the internet. This one's for like a history lesson. It says it's Passport to Colonial Times. So this rubric is judging the students as a group. So here it has the contributions, the quality of the work, and how they manage their time. And I think that's it. Those are my 3 strategies. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to email me or whatever. And thank you, and good luck with your work.